Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're still in the international break, and I know a number of countries are playing in the different either friendlies or qualifiers for this and that, including my home country, Uganda. We will be playing Friday. We are hosting South Africa, and it will be great to have that win and seal our qualification for Africa Cup of Nations. So fingers crossed for that. Otherwise, most of the players, all of us that own them that are in their nations, are hoping everyone can be able to return fit. But basically, today we shall be going through our differentials. What do we mean by differentials? Because we know there are some people who are new to the channel, who are new to FPL. By differentials, we mean some of those players that are not highly owned. Their ownership is low in the game, and we believe with such a player, if he does hold for you or if he does perform very well for you, helps you to get ahead of your peers, helps you to rise up in the rankings because you get away from the template kind of FPL templates that most people have. Like how we know someone like Bowen is highly owned, someone like Salah is highly owned. So you believe whenever such players perform, it doesn't make much of a difference for you in your rankings because pretty much everyone has him. So the people we are looking at today are those players that are not highly owned, as we shall go deeper, and we believe have very good fixtures and a very high chance of returns in the next following couple of game weeks. So as we've divided them, we'll see the likes of defenders. We do see someone like Kakes. He's good going forward. He's been assisting a number of times. We have someone like Colwill. The Chelsea fixtures look good. We have someone like Dunk. He's currently still flagged, but we believe after the international break he should be able to return. And the Brighton fixtures also look good. So some of the fixtures we need to capitalize. That's why you see someone like Joao Pedro appearing as well. We have someone like Neto. We saw Neto is very he's ahead of Sancho in the pecking order right now, and he's capable of very good assists. He's always putting in the crosses that can supply to the likes of Jackson, who also appears here. Yeah, so, and we did see he can also go ahead to get that odd goal every once in a while, so he does also look good. De Bruyne now, I keep on saying Man City is due some good returns. So I believe we do not know when, but very soon we shall get onto that horse of Man City players again. I know now we have teams that don't even have any, or those that only have, for example, Lewis. But I do believe with the team, with most of the players coming back and the team starting to become stable again, we do expect Man City to stabilize and get in those very good returns going forward. That's why De Bruyne appears as well, the likes of Bowen in our midfield, and with our forwards, with the likes of Evan Nelson and Jackson as well. So we'll go straight into each player that we've mentioned and even a bit some more mentions that are not on our list. We'll start with someone like Cowell. As we mentioned, something very prime about Chelsea and most of their assets is really the fixtures. They have very good fixtures, like we can see from game week 12 all the way up to game week 19. They play the likes of Leicester, who's next, Southampton as well. They play Everton and they play Ipswich. Those are four very good fixtures in a space of what, around 8, 9 game weeks, really. So this is one of the reasons why someone like Levi Colwill would look very good. And as we can see, his ownership is quite low. He's still at just 3% ownership. So he's one of those players that I believe is really very good and very prime for us to get. The next person that we did talk about was Milos Kakes. As you can see, his ownership is at 1.4 really. And look at those fixtures. He plays Brighton, he plays Wolves, he plays Ipswich, he plays West Ham, he plays Man United and Crystal Palace. The only difficult one in there would be probably Spurs, but we know how Spurs has been stuttering so far. So to me, and like he's always very good on the left in the left wing going forward. I think he has I think either two assists or I think two assists so far already this season. So I think he's really a very good asset, especially in defenders. If you're looking especially for even a budget defender being at 4.4 million. So going forward, I do believe Kakes is one of those people to look at as a very good asset in your defense, especially for the budget. We have a number of people that are always believing that 4.5 is already too expensive for a defender. So going for someone like this would already be a good choice. The other person we did talk about briefly was Lewis Dunk. He's still flagged, like I mentioned, but it's important that the Brighton fixtures are looking good. So the likes of Joao Pedro, we are going to see later on. The likes of Welbeck as well. All these are looking very good because they get to play Southampton, they play Leicester, they play West Ham. Those are all very good fixtures up to game week 19 before they get to Arsenal. I think they have a very good run of games. So hopefully, if they can get in a few clean sheets here and there, because I know some of you even have the likes of Bruggen in goal, it would be a very good asset for you. Going to our midfield, we'd look at someone like Jared Bowen. Bowen's fixtures do not start off very well, but one thing we've seen about Bowen is even in the hardest of games, he's one that is very capable of returning. We saw that, for example, against Manchester United itself. It wasn't that easy of a game, but he did manage to pull out, I think, an assist, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, so the fixtures do look good. Sorry, the fixtures do not look the best, especially at the start. The first two, that's Newcastle and Arsenal. But after that, they have Leicester, they have Wolves, they have Southampton, they have Ipswich coming up. So this is one of our midfielders that we are also selecting for those that are differentials. Next is Pedro. I did talk much about him already on the left wing of Chelsea. I think he has it nailed. He's ahead of Sancho for now. And their next fixture is very good. This is a Leicester that is coming from being beaten, I think, 3-0 by Manchester United. And we expect Chelsea to be a bit better going forward with the likes of Palmer and Madueke and Jackson all firing. So we do believe Pedro should be a very good differential going forward. Besides that, as I mentioned earlier, they play the likes of Ipswich, they play the likes of Southampton. So all of those are yet to come in, and Everton as well, which still puts us in a very good place for those that own him. The other person is a bit of contentious issue because of how stuttering Spurs has been. He didn't even appear on the list that I created earlier on, but I do believe Human Son is a good differential. He's still at just 7% ownership, and Man City, yes, is one of the first games he plays, but we know Man City is a team that is always disturbed and bothered by Spurs. Spurs are never coward, never scared of Man City. They go right ahead at them, whether it's at Etihad, whether it's at Spurs. They really go direct and play against them head on. So I personally have him actually in my team, and I think I'll be starting him against Man City just because of that. Fingers crossed. I know fitness has been an issue for him in the last couple of weeks, but hopefully he can get back. And after Man City, as we can see, they still also get to play the likes of Southampton. This is no longer a given because this is a team that played Ipswich the previous game, and we did think they were going to come and really blow them out. But Ipswich got its first win, I believe, against them. So as we say always say about FPL is that you never know. Sometimes you can be so sure about an asset and a fixture, but as football is quite unpredictable, so you can't really be for sure. But for me, he does look very good as well, as a very good differential going forward. Then we shall, I think, go into our strikers. So we see the likes of Ivan Nelson. I talked about the Bournemouth fixtures. So Evan Nilsson does look good as well. It's only, I think, Spurs in there, but we also know about the frailties of Spurs defense. But otherwise, his fixtures look good. He has been a bit consistent because we saw he had 8 points in game week 9, 7 points in game week, and we do believe. I think going forward, him and Semenyo actually continue to look very good assets as well. The next person I think I had already mentioned is Jackson. I think for someone that is resting the likes that for teams that do not have the likes of Haaland, you do have to need at least the likes of Jackson, the likes of Isak, those premium strikers that at least can be able to return for you every other week to at least be able to cater for that miss of the robot himself out of the team. Then lastly, the last forward we'll talk about is Joao Pedro. He came and did what we know he's capable of. I came off the bench against Manchester City, scored and assisted, yes. And as you can see, his fixtures next, he has Leicester in there, he has Southampton in there, he has West Ham in there. And the fixtures really look good for Brighton. So with that said, I think these are some of the differentials that I personally would be looking at for someone that wants to make their way up the ranking and above their peers. I have a few of them in my team, as you all know. Other than that, this will be the last video for this week, being that we are in an international break. Catch you next week. The shorts and the updates on the Twitter page continue. Continue to subscribe and like FPL responsibly, and take care.